It's showtime.
Hello guys and welcome back to the STPL. We are currently watching bwL versus Red, the final game in week number 6 of round 3. There is week 7 after this, but that's going to be casted in a couple of weeks, as next week is going to be the Christmas Cup, which should be a lot of fun. But we just saw two very quick games. We're going to be going into hopefully a little bit of a longer one here. It's going to be Castle versus Cryoc, and obviously both of these teams have not a lot of history with each other, but a lot of history in the game. I mean, Castle's been around forever, and so has Cryoc, so...
And so has Brood War Kicks.
Yeah.
It's just been around for a long time. No, it's actually really cool. Got a chance to meet Cryoc when he attended the 20th anniversary event. Really cool guy. Kind of soft-spoken, but super smart. I was watching him watch Sharp play, and he's like telling me all these tiny little things I would never have seen when he was watching them. I was just like, okay, well, you know, he sees the Neo code in the Terran Matrix. So really cool to watch him play. And I mean, Castle's pretty good too. And finally, we don't have a mirror matchup, so at least that's something you can be happy about.
It is indeed. It's going to be a TVP here. Cryoc currently 2 for 3 against Protoss. TVP certainly not his strong point, but TVZ is on another level compared to a lot of the foreign Terrans. But Castle here, his only PVT ended up with a loss, but he was up against an incredibly strong player. And they're going to be moving here on one of our most standard maps. It's going to be Neo Ground Zero from 2012. Is sort of a remake of Ground Zero. They kind of changed the way the naturals worked a bit. Ground Zero used to have droppable nats and everything. But they did remove that in Neo because it was a little bit over the top. But it's still a really cool map. Third bases are going to be mineral only, so that makes it a little bit harder for Terran to build that massive tank count off of so few bases like you see on a map like Fighting Spirit. And Protoss can obviously take another main. The mains in this map are absolutely huge, by the way. So as you get further in the game, you'll see Protoss have an insane number of gateways in 1 or 2 mains, possibly even 3, depending on the way the map goes. So, without further ado, let's get into game number 3 here. It's Castle for bwL versus Red's Cryoc. Okay, spawning over here in the left-hand position, we do have, or the top left-hand position, we do have the purple Protoss fighting for bwL. It's Castle.
And his opponent in the okay, sorry, it didn't spawn on my screen there for a second because I alt-tabbed. In the bottom right-hand corner, in the white, is our Terran player for Team Red. It's Cryoc. Man, let me just say, white Terran, by far, I want to say next to maybe like red Terran, favorite Terran colors. Because this one just makes it look like they're just like all shiny and Gundam metal-y. It's so cool. Don't get to see that often. So.
Yeah, don't get to see it very often, but not so sure about that, Chief, because orange is the best Terran color.
Orange Terran?
Yeah.
Or what do they like? Wake up and they put too much like Cheeto dust on all of their units' kicks? Like, did they get slimed? Did they get gacked? Well, I guess gack is green. Nickelodeon had another one that was orange, or maybe that was just like a different season. I don't know.
That
anyway,
Nick's logo was orange and it was like a paint splatter, so.
Close enough. These are like, you just like to play the Nickelodeon Terrans.
I think Castle is going to be going for a Nexus first.
Is that okay? So 12 Nexus versus Terrans. I feel like we need to like take every Protoss player that does this and have like an intervention against them, because they're just like, ha, I have gotten an economic advantage. I'm like, well, have you really? So like, basically what you're trying to say is like, the Terran player doesn't have to worry about anything ever. Like, I feel like the Terran's maybe okay with the Protoss having an economic advantage for a little bit, as long as it means he doesn't die. Because there's just like a lot of ways you can die early on as a Terran to Protoss. Because, you know, there's only so good a couple of tiny Marines are. So, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. It turns out that, yes, indeed, he is going to go for, I guess this is, what, 14 Nexus?
This is a really late Nexus. He's 200 minerals behind where he could be.
Yeah, why does he have 6,500 minerals? What? Okay. Maybe he just really wants to throw down. Oh no. Well, so I'm thinking, Kicks. I'm thinking, what do you do if you have 400 extra minerals? Well, you just throw down a second Nexus. But he's actually just gonna build a forge and a gateway behind this. The
Okay. I guess.
What is a? I mean, maybe so. So this is like when you start Evo Chamber first in DBZ.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really want those upgrades. Except
It's a big brain build.
He doesn't have a gas yet. Oh my gosh.
You know what? This is like this isn't obvious, right? Just hear me out. So Castle is seen on sort of snow stream, rain stream. Them try and go for quick nexuses. What do they die to? They die to Flash going for the Marine Vulture all-in. What kills Marines and Vultures? Cannons. This is the big brain play rapid. This is the new meta right here from Castle.
I don't know about that one, Chief. I feel like cannons in TVP are not the way to go. Because you know, any Terran player that has the ability to build, like, say, maybe more than one factory, you know, might have something to say about that. But look what Cryoc's doing. He's like, oh no, I've got a slower expansion, but he's got an expansion. And I think that's all that he cares about. It's just like, hey, I can actually just get this up. You can actually maybe work on building a second command center in his main if he wanted to, or go for a more aggressive play to try to shut this down, which is what 99% of Terran players do at the pro level, is they just like keep pumping Marines, walk across the map and kill you with siege tanks.
Yeah, now it looks like Cryoc is going to play kind of a more conventional modern style here. Going to be going for mine expand, so this is going to allow him to put the mines out the front. Obviously it's going to be a long way away from getting an observatory here for Castle. He is going to be going into double extra or triple extra gateways. Still no robo though, so obviously the Vulture's not going to really be able to do anything in the main in terms of attacking, but he's going to be able to contain Castle, and that's going to give him the ability to send this SCV down and get a very quick third base.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess he is going to do that. I probably would have built it on the high ground in your main and floated it over, but sometimes you just gotta go. But, and this is one of the things about not only going cannons, but going for 12 or 14 Nexus is like, what are you going to do against this? What are you going to do?
Yeah, like, I mean, he has no observatory. He's a long way off of that. He doesn't even have a robo yet, so the only form of detection he has is the single cannon at the front of his base. Obviously, Cryoc has led a little line of mines. Now, this is the reason why he decided not to build the command center in his main. There's actually just no point. He knows there's no units from Castle out in the middle of the map, and he's just sending more and more Vultures out.
Okay. And actually, honestly, there's only one I guess there's Dragoons and Zealots there. I thought he would be able to just like run by the one cannon. Honestly, he still could. Vultures are pretty fast, but mines are the biggest thing. Like, mines just mean that this is going to be a 3-base Terran to a 2-base Protoss forever.
Yeah, I honestly don't see how Castle is going to deal with these mines. Obviously, you can micro them down. We have seen that. Obviously, it's very, very difficult to do. One of the most famous plays of sort of Dragoons versus Mines was Bisu, where he had no observer and managed to push all the way through to the Terran base and kill him. But, I mean, Castle isn't Bisu. He's a very strong foreign Protoss player, but I'm not so sure about his build right now. It's not looking too good for him.
Yep, I mean, it's just one of the things about going 12 Nexus, or in this case 14. You sacrifice your entire early game. And so let's see what's going to happen next. Obviously, there's still no gas outside the main. Usually you kind of want to get that up, but because he was building so many SCVs, so many command centers, you know, obviously you're not going to need that much gas early on.
Yeah.
And you know, Vultures are pretty much free, so not going to need any gas there. Wow, I mean, Cryoc's just in such a good spot. I feel like I'm watching a Terran like 12 minutes into the game, not 6.
Yeah, this is kind of insane how much he's been able to power up. The one problem he is going to run into is obviously he did delay his second gas, so his ability to max out on factories is, well, not max out on factories, but sort of add more factories is going to be a lot further delayed than maybe where he wants it to be. He is supply blocked at the moment as well. He's going into Academy armory at the same time, but this is time where he is not building units, and Castle is still building off of 5 gateways. He's going up to an observatory finally. And when Castle eventually does manage to push out, I mean, it looks like he has cleared some of the mines with some zealots. Obviously, that's not the most cost-effective way of dealing with them. But he's going to have a big army, and that's something Cryoc is going to be a long way away from.
I mean, he does finally have an obs out, or an observatory out, no observer itself. So yeah, this is just one of the best parts about having mines. Early game, it just gives you so much map control. Unless you're going up against BSU, who's going to do that center step micro with Dragoons, you're going to be good. And so now that he's got the second gas up and running, he's starting to build a ton of factories, up to 3, maybe adding on even more after this. Like, I mean, he's killing it. Like, what are you going to do as a Protoss, right? You're going to be going up against +1 siege tanks with siege mode and 3 bases with mines in your way.
Still, 5 gateways against 3 factories is a big number to have. He's finally adding on a lot more Dragoons. Obviously, his zealot count was quite high before. He did lose a few of them to the mines, but back at home, Cryoc doesn't actually have that many units. This is one of the detriments of going for a quick third base like this. Oh, he actually takes damage from that mine. That's something that he can't really afford to be doing right now on these Dragoons. And where's the Observer? The Observer's behind the units. No,
okay.
it's
he,
behind the units.
He did build one. But yes, he's protecting the Observer from the mines, Kix.
We're going to see Castle go for a third base now. He's doing something that you wouldn't really recommend. He's expanding towards the Terran player. He obviously wants to get that gas. He knows it's going to be hard to get the mineral. Well, it's not going to be hard to get the mineral only, but the extra minerals aren't going to help him too much. But Castle's kind of on a timer. He has this timing where he's got a large number of gateways compared to the factory count of the Terran player, and he really needs to try and jump on this. Oh, another mine nearly goes down. That would have killed a good few Dragoons there, actually. And there's actually a Vulture here already scouting out that there's a Nexus over coming up on the third base.
Yeah, I don't know. There is that third Nexus. It's going to be defended by a ton of Gateway units, but if you watch Artosis' stream, you know the Gateway man is very seldom the winner at the end of versus Terrans. So he's gonna go with this. This is a lot of stuff, right? I mean, we've been talking about how it's a weird build, it's you know, crazy, whatever. But if you walk across the map and kill your opponent, nothing we say matters.
Yeah, and the thing is, Cryoc's positioning is really strange. He's actually going to leave himself open at his third base. There is a couple of mines and maybe 2 tanks that can attack the choke point, but I don't know. Things are still looking okay for Castle. A group of Vultures are going to be heading out on the left-hand side of the map. A group are going to head out on the right as well, but Castle getting baited into the siege tanks here does need to fall back just a little bit. He's got a shuttle here with a Zealot Bomber. Cryoc already ready with that turret.
Yeah, turret's going to be, I think the best way to deal with this, obviously there's another angle that you can come in on from the high ground by the barracks bunker wall. So you can just come in from that angle. I think that's almost just as good. Maybe get a sick mine drag. There's a world in which you mine drag, blow everything up, and run all over that third base because it is the most vulnerable one. But I don't know, man. It's still gonna be really rough. I mean, maybe you use this like soft contain to like get a 4th base. I don't know. I'm trying to think about that because we've got a Terran sitting pretty on 3 bases, not at risk of mining out of any of them, and there's upgrades kicking in, Kicks.
There is 2-1 is on the way now for Castle, for Cryoc even. Castle is only now getting +1 attack despite the fact he had that forge at the very beginning of the game. Castle units are kind of placed in a weird position. You can see one of the sort of map features of this map is there's these kind of weird choke points around these small sort of mini islands. You can't drop anything in there. I think you may be able to drop a ghost in between the walls, but we're not going to be seeing that this game most likely. We're going to see Cryoc trying to break through this pylon wall as well. There's actually no cannon up here to defend against this. Yeah. And Castle could be losing a lot of probes.
I want to say you can glitch through the side of that with a mine, but yeah, obviously you just gotta run away because the army's retreating. But with the army retreating, I mean, look at what Cryoc's doing, right? He's just building a billion Vultures. He's gonna mine out this map, the next map. Like every map from now on will spawn with mines on it because he has that many Vultures to just lay them everywhere. I don't even think, like, I think he can lay mines faster then Castle can clear them. So that's just going to be a pretty good way to play for the next, well, I don't know, forever.
Yeah, the big benefit of this mineral-only base is obviously it does mean you can't build as many tanks. But I mean, when you've got this many mines, it doesn't really matter. Castle is not going to be able to attack anytime soon. And I mean, he's just spending so much time just trying to break out of his own base with his units. And this is something you don't often see. Part of me really wants Castle to just pull his army back, group it together, and just try and defend against these constant vultures moving on the map, because as you can see, there's just too many vultures compared to the dragoons, and they're going to take them down!
What am I watching? Why would you ever build another Terran unit besides a vulture, Kicks? You've been doing it wrong this whole time.
My problem is I build too many vultures, and then you eventually just lose, so...
Well, I think Cryoc is showing you that there is no such thing as too many vultures. It's 90% of his army composition, and he's making it look pretty good.
Yeah, now if Castle did go into Templar Archives here, maybe he could get Storm. Storm is a very strong component to deal with those vultures. Obviously it doesn't deal with mines. We're going to have Arbiters coming in as well. And I mean, Castle is still building up a decent army. He's kind of even in supply. But this is the moment Cryoc realizes, hey, you know what? I have enough stuff. I did a lot of damage to your army. Killed about 8 dragoons. And this is the time I'm going to jump on you and see if I can make something happen. There's going to be units coming in from both sides. But look at the amount of siege tanks. The amount of vultures that have soaked up this damage is insane.
Get out of here. Oh my god, we're just like making a blueberry pie with all the blue goo. Like these you know, there's that I don't know if you guys have Kinder eggs over in UK. Do you have Nestle Wonder Balls?
No.
Okay, so there's this commercial, right, in America for these Nestle Wonder Balls, and the catchphrase is "Open it up and see what's inside." And of course, many people made memes about this because it's kind of dumb. But the point is, he opened up all those dragoons and he found out what they were filled with.
Yeah, lots and lots of blue goo. There's not that many units left here for Castle. Cryoc is going to be able to get into this third base. There's still no cannons on the ramp, not that they'll really help him too much here against all these tanks. But if he loses this third base, he's going to lose his third set of gas income. I mean, there's there's actually triple observers just seeing how dead he's about to be. With the amount of siege tanks there are, there's a huge amount of vultures, a good number of tanks in reserve as well. The third base goes down. And Castle is kind of in an awful position here, and Cryoc is showing his dominance here in this game.
He sure is, Kicks. Wow.
Oh.
Well, I don't think there's really going to be anything to stand in Cryoc's way. No problem. He's, yeah, just probably going to go from infinity to beyond, basically do anything that he wants at this point. I mean, really, I'm trying to think, like, what is the best case scenario here? Is it just walking into the army? Is it trying to... Oh, wait, did he pause the replay? Okay, well, I didn't think he was going to pause it. I'm, like, talking about the game like it's still going. I'm like, wait a second. Have I been stasis?
Okay, sorry about that, guys. I am back.
Welcome back, Kicks.
I've unpaused the game. I didn't want to leave it unpaused in case I missed the very ending. Because it looks like things are kind of wrapping up in this game. I don't really know how Cryoc's going to be how Castle's going to be able to hold on. He's up against such a huge Terran army. Here we go. Is there going to be a good stasis? No. There's not even enough energy for stasis on this Arbiter. And I mean, this is just absolute annihilation.
I'm just gonna be a spectator for the rest of the game, Kicks. I mean, I think we all know what we're gonna see. This is like when you go to watch the Transformers movie, right? Like, do you expect a riveting storyline? No, you want to see giant robots. You don't really have too many expectations. You know what you're getting yourself into. And I think the entirety of our viewership knows exactly what they're gonna see here. You're gonna watch a giant mech army stomp all over a Protoss one, and that is exactly what we just saw. GG, Castle taps out Cryoc. Takes game number 2.
That's game number 3, man. You're
3. Oh my god, it's such a fast day. What is up with our fast STPL days, Kicks?
We're coming near the end of the round, but we've got week 7 coming up, and week 7 is not only going to be amazing in terms of what the matchups are, but also it's going to be so important for pretty much 50% of all the teams in the STPL. The groups have been so unbelievably close this time. I really can't wait to get into week 7. So We're going to go into game number 4 here, of course. Red are up 2-1. The Kingdom here for bwL, their captain, is going to be standing up against the Lone Ranger, the grandfather of Brood War Eriador, aka Liquid Drone, in game number 4 on Plasma when we get back